It's not going to be long before you start hearing stories about players in the metaverse becoming millionaires. And this might sound like a crazy idea, but as the blockchain is giving the internet a real way to have verifiable ownership and currency, the idea of massive multiplayer worlds with real money economies is really becoming possible. We have already been trying to make real money metaverses since 2005 or earlier when this game called Entropia Universe came out. The problem is the technology wasn't quite ready back then to really give players real ownership. But that doesn't mean that there weren't already massive success stories back in that really old 2005 game. For example, in 2006, there was a player called Mike Everett who sold enough weapons in the game to help send his siblings to college, which is honestly pretty cool if you ask me. And this was before NFTs and the blockchain. Another player called John Jacobs mortgaged his real house to buy a virtual asteroid for $100,000. He turned it into a popular nightclub, and then in 2010, he sold it for $635,000, which is a 6x in a virtual world, and this was before the blockchain. Now, you might be asking, how come this virtual world didn't take off and become super massive? Well, it's because it had problems as well. There was another player called Death of Fire who bought a $26,000 island in Entropia Universe, and he started to turn a profit and claims that he broke even within 1 year because he filled up the island with different mobs that people could level off of, and then he would charge them to enter his island. But the problem is none of this stuff actually existed on the blockchain. None of it was NFTs, and these players didn't really have real ownership in this world. And in 2016, long after Entropia Universe was making the news, that same player, Death of Fire, filed a lawsuit against the company that made Entropia over an intellectual property dispute. 2 years later, Death of Fire appeared to vanish from the Entropia Universe entirely, and players have speculated that it's because his holdings were annexed by the creators of Entropia, which they had the power to do because he never had real ownership. And that creates a lot of fear, right? And that will cause people to not put a lot of money into the world of Entropia because you know that your things can be taken from you. But now with the blockchain, I think that we are going to start to see some incredibly successful games and worlds that actually have real ownership that's verifiable and the game company cannot take from players, which is going to be absolutely incredible and I think make some massive metaverse economies. So I now want to share with you guys 5 metaverses that are being built right now. They're gonna have real money economies on the blockchain with NFT ownership and the cryptocurrency as your currency that I think are going to make a lot of millionaires in real life. So if this sounds good to you, remember to drop a big thumbs up on this video. Also, make sure you hit subscribe if you like content like this. On-chain gaming is all about the future of play to earn games. Now, let's get into it. On-chain gaming. So the first world that I want to talk about that I think has the potential to make a ton of millionaires in the metaverse is called Star Atlas. Now, Star Atlas is one of the most ambitious games, maybe the most ambitious game ever dreamed up. It's going to be built on Unreal Engine 5, and it's going to have graphics that are somewhat undistinguishable from real life. It's really crazy, some of the short snippets of gameplay that we have been able to see in the actual Unreal Engine 5 game, and they also have some cinematics that are absolutely beautiful. But the reason why I think that this game might create a lot of millionaires is because already they have shown themselves that they're going for some insane scale. Like, they truly want to build a real metaverse, and the metaverse already has a community run newspaper. There are a ton of different guilds and factions that have already been set up. All players are going to have have real ownership. And there are ships and different things sold on the Star Atlas marketplace currently for hundreds of thousands of dollars. And if this game's popularity starts to increase and the number of some of these really large mega ships or Titan ships stay very scarce, then we already might be seeing some of these players who've already made the right moves become millionaires, and it's only a matter of time. Now, obviously this is not guaranteed, and there's still a lot of risk because Star Atlas still has to be built. But I really love the team that's behind Star Atlas, and I am just super looking forward to this game as we see more and more development, more and more trailers. I think the first like big gameplay reveal trailer is just gonna cause so much hype. It's going to be insane. But yeah, Star Atlas, beyond these ship NFTs, also has 2 coins. You can buy Atlas and Polis. If the popularity of this world increases, I believe that currency holders and governance holders of Star Atlas are going to be greatly rewarded. Now let's talk about the second game that I think is going to be creating millionaires in the metaverse. And this second game has actually already made millionaires in the metaverse, which is pretty crazy. But this game is like super early in like beta. There's so much more that is going to be coming out for this game. And I think that this game is probably not done creating millionaires yet. And this game is Axie Infinity. Now, if you've been following the NFT gaming space, you've definitely heard of Axie Infinity, and I've talked about it in a ton of videos on this channel. But we still don't have Lunacia out yet, which is going to be the land of Axie Infinity. And Lunacia has a ton of property that has not been sold yet. Actually, 3/4 of the property in Axie Infinity still has not been sold. And there are some people that have bought early property in Axie Infinity that's now worth over $2 million already. And like I said, Lunacia is not even out yet. Plus, they're redoing the battle system entirely. So they're going to be entirely remaking the core game that exists now. And they're going to be allowing people who own land in Lunacia to develop their own games that people can walk their Axies into portals to play on their land inside the world of Lunacia. So Axie Infinity really could become kind of an infinite game, an infinite world, an infinite play to earn metaverse that still might make a ton of people millionaires and possibly even more. Now let's talk about the third game that I think has the potential to make some millionaires in the metaverse. And this is a game that I am personally super looking forward to. It's actually maybe my personal favorite just because it is a medieval fantasy massive multiplayer online role-playing game. And I love medieval fantasy RPGs. It's something that I just absolutely enjoyed playing as I was growing up. So I have a real soft spot for it in my heart. And because of that, I have invested a lot of money into the world of Mirandus, buying land and buildings. I've invested quite a bit in this game. But the reason why I'm so optimistic that it's going to create millionaires is because it has an entirely player-owned economy. That means that it's going to be players that you go to the shops of to buy swords. It's going to be players whose inns that you stay in and whose temples you get spells purchased from. So it's literally going to be entirely player-owned, and it's going to have a real money economy, kind of like Entropia, except that it's also going to be on the blockchain with real NFT ownership, and stuff can't be taken from you because it's going to exist inside your wallet. But yeah, I think that not only landowners in the world of Mirandus are going to become millionaires, which I think a lot of them probably will, but I also think a lot of adventurers who just go in the world to explore and kill mobs and become powerful will also have the opportunity to become millionaires in the world of Mirandus over time as well. Because some of these bosses that McCarthy has talked about, who's the lead developer of Mirandus, he says they're going to take years before one of them actually dies. And some of these bosses are actually going to be limited too. So if you kill a boss, it might drop a one-of-one NFT that no one else in the entire world has. And after that boss is gone, it's never going to come back. So I think that some adventurers that are just incredible in the world of Mirandus are going to kill these insane bosses that no one figured out how to take down for years. And then they're going to be able to sell these powerful weapons and artifacts or whatever drops from these bosses. That's a one-of-one for potentially a ton of money if if the world of Mirandus has millions and millions of players in it, just think about what a one of one was worth in Ready Player One and the Oasis. Some of that stuff will make millionaires for adventurers, which is just so exciting. The next game I want to talk about that I think might make millionaires is called Illuvium. And Illuvium is actually going to be the first of these games releasing, besides Axie Infinity, which is obviously already playable. But yeah, Illuvium is going to be dropping in Q1 of 2022, which is in the next like 3 or 4 months here. And it is both going to be a role-playing game and kind of an NFT battler. But the reason why I think this game might make millionaires is because the RPG part, when you're roaming the world, is kind of based a little bit off of Pokemon, where you're going to be able to catch rare alluvials, the NFT monster in the game. And what's really cool about Illuvium is that after all of the monsters are caught, like there is a finite number of each of the alluvials, and once they're caught, there's never going to be any more. And what's going to happen is there's just going to be new seasons of Illuvium where entirely new sets of 100 alluvials are revealed. But if you're thinking like 2, 3, 4, 5 years in the future, some of these really early alluvials that most players don't have access to, because the number of alluvials in each drop is going to scale, like the number of each of the alluvials is going to scale with the number of players. So say there's only like 50,000 players in the first year, there's not going to be very many of these first alluvials to catch. But later on, say there's 5 million players or 10 million players, there's going to be way more of each alluvial that people can catch. So some of these early alluvials, who knows what they might sell for? I mean, just thinking of League of Legends, rare skins in League of Legends, which you don't even really own, but some of the accounts that owned these rare skins were being sold against terms of service for hundreds of thousands of dollars. So imagine what some of these rare alluvials, which aren't only just skins, might be worth to players. Plus, there is land in Illuvium as well, which is going to be able to generate assets that the RPG players in Illuvium need in order to travel around the world. So if you buy land in Illuvium and you're mining these resources that the players need in order to go and catch rare alluvials, then they're going to be buying from you, and that is going to probably make some millionaires as well. Now, there are so many games, so many metaverses that I could pick for this final 5th spot. And let me tell you, I've been wrestling so much, like, should I share this game or that game or that game? Because there honestly are quite a few worlds that have the potential to make millionaires. I'm just gonna throw out a couple before I name the one that I'm gonna dive into. Big Time, which was created by the founder of Decentraland, I think might make some millionaires. Ember Sword, which is another role-playing game that honestly looks like it has a ton of promise and is gonna have NFT skins, I think possibly could make millionaires as well. Another potential that I think people are kind of sleeping on, but might make millionaires as well, because there are some really rare skins and stuff, is Blancos Block Party. It's gonna be, honestly, it has the potential to be a very big metaverse. But the game that I've picked for 5th in this video that we're gonna dive a little bit deeper into is called The Sandbox. Now, The Sandbox is an incredibly ambitious metaverse, to put it lightly, and they have some incredible development talent, and they have some really incredible connections as well. And like Atari, for example, has bought a ton of land in the Sandbox. Lil Wayne actually recently bought quite a bit of land in the Sandbox as well, because he wants to throw concerts in the Sandbox, which is honestly a super cool idea. I have even bought some land in the Sandbox in partnership with Dr. Bulls, because we're writing a book called Ready Player Earn about how to earn money in the metaverse that's going to be releasing in the next few quarters. And we thought it would be really cool if we built some kind of metaverse interaction that people who read the book could visit and kind of have a book experience or something like that. We've been playing around with that idea. I'm not sure if it's going to happen for certain, but I think it would be super cool if there were like, yeah, some Easter eggs and some real metaverse locations that you could visit that were tied in with the book. So the Sandbox is kind of, you know how I said how Axie Land is going to let people develop games that have portals and Axies can walk into them and like go into a new game? game. The sandbox is going to be kind of like that, but I would think of it more like Roblox, where all of these games are going to exist and are being built by players and companies using the sandbox game developing tools, which are really cool. And yeah, they're super awesome. The sandbox is not out yet, but you can actually download the world creator, and you can jump in the sandbox and you can make some worlds and stuff. And yeah, who knows what the sandbox has the potential to become, but there are definitely going to be millionaires created in the sandbox who make really fun games and create NFTs. And yeah, the sandbox has ways that like owners can monetize NFTs that they make. And yeah, just the user generated backbone of the sandbox, I think, is really what gives it the potential to create millionaires in the metaverse. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope now it's clear to you guys that play to earn games are going to make a lot of millionaires, and the world is changing, and it's super exciting. And maybe it sounds a little bit dystopian, but I think there's a lot of optimistic and positive things about play to earn games. I think it's going to give a ton of opportunity to people in third world countries where the local economy just doesn't offer that much. We already saw that with Axie Infinity, where a lot of people in the Philippines were able to make more playing Axie and like start businesses and stuff in their towns and villages than they were able to make in any job in their local economy. So there's a lot of positives that are happening because of this new world that's being created, this new metaverse with real property rights, which changes everything. It really does change everything. So if you guys enjoyed this video, remember to leave a big thumbs up. That actually helps out this video a ton in the algorithm and causes the algorithm to recommend it to more people. So I really appreciate that. And then if you just watched this whole video and you're not subscribed yet, what are you doing? Make sure you hit subscribe and click that notification bell, and you'll be notified when I post new videos. You can follow me on Twitter at Jake Browatsky. I tweet about NFT games as well. But yeah, this channel, On-Chain Gaming, is all about the play to earn revolution, the blockchain gaming revolution that is happening before our eyes. And I think the world hasn't quite woken up to it yet, but it is very exciting, and it's gonna be a lot bigger than even the most bullish people, I think, realize it's gonna be. It's gonna actually change the way that the world is in a lot of ways. So it's really exciting, and we're going to be keeping up with it here on On-Chain Gaming. So I'll end by saying thank you to our incredible Patreon supporters. Thank you guys so much for supporting us on Patreon. I know that I'm not always there on a daily basis talking to you guys. I'm trying to talk to you guys more often, but I do enjoy hanging out with you there. And guys, we're actually creating a play to earn guild inside the exclusive Discord channel for Patreons. So if you're interested in joining that guild, yeah, check it out. Check out our Patreon below. But you know, if all the support that you can give is a thumbs up, then that's completely fine. I'm not making these videos by myself. My brother Nate edits these videos. Josh, our friend, does the original intro and outro music, and also publishes all the videos on our second channel, On-Chain Gaming Clips, which I recommend you guys checking out below. So yeah, we really appreciate your support, guys. And until next time, everyone, have fun trying to become a millionaire in the metaverse. And yeah, just generally have fun roaming the metaverse.